Hi everyone, in this video you're going to learn how to build another easy project that would look something like this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how the dimensions of all of these. So what I've done is I've created a really quick, really rough Onshape drawing. And these are all the dimensions for it. So let's compare this to our actual project. What we can see here is that this view is our top view. It shows us the sketch, it shows us the dimensions for this view of the drawing. Then what we're going to see is that this view is our front view. If we go to the example, this is the view we're looking at. So let's get to building our project. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a sketch on the top plane. To create our top view over here, we want to create this. Oops, I apologize. We want to create this view here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our workspace and click on top view. Then we're going to create a sketch. Then what we're going to do is we're going to create a rough L shape, making sure that we have all the constraints, making sure that each line we create is either has the vertical constraint, the small box you can see, or the horizontal constraint. We also need to keep in mind the perpendicular constraint, which was the small box with the perpendicular intersection. Okay, so this is our rough L shape. Now let's dimension it. What we can see is that the width of this piece would be 19.5 millimeters. So that would be equivalent, this piece over here would be equivalent to this piece over here. So to dimension it, this would be 19.05 millimeters. Ooh, okay. Then what we know is that the length of the base of the L should be 101.6 millimeters. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna dimension it. There we go. Then what we're gonna do is we're going to look at this dimension. So that would correspond to this length over here. That is 38.1 millimeters. Okay, so what we know now is that we don't know this dimension over here. So let's find the dimension really quick. How we can do that is we're going to go to the dimension, select the line, and see. We see that it is 22.5 millimeters. Let's just make sure that's the dimension that we have. That's not the dimension we have, 22.25. Okay. And we do not need to dimension this side because we have our base and we have our small L dimension, so that this dimension would automatically be figured out by subtracting 22.25 from 101.6. So then what we're going to do is we're going to first recenter this because it is completely out of center. So how we're going to do that is we're going to go to the point tool and first find the midpoint of one line, and then find the midpoint of the second line, or we could approximate the point and select the point. Then what we're going to do is we can go into the the coincident constraint, select the point and the origin, to recenter. Interesting, that didn't work out. Let's try again. Coincident constraint. Okay, so what happened here was that this point was being constrained to the origin. So let's try constraint. Yeah, no. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that this point is located with the part. So how we're going to do that is we are going to try to actually what we're going to do is we're going to stick to this point, because towards the end you'll see how the location of the part doesn't really matter for this project only. So we're going to finish the sketch and go into isometric view. Then we're going to extrude it. So going into our drawing, we can understand that the length of the extrusion would be 63.5 millimeters. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the sketch, click extrude, make it symmetric, make the dimension 63.5. Then we're going to click the green check button. And now what we need to do is we need to create a hole here. But what I find is that these planes are getting in the way of my view. So I'm going to click the P button on my keyboard to get rid of the planes. That way, this is going to be my new view with no planes, which is good. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a sketch on this surface. So we're going to select the surface and click sketch. Then we're going to go to front view and zoom out a bit. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our drawing. What we can conclude is that there will be 3 lines, with one being dimensioned 12.7 millimeters away from the top line, and another being dimensioned 19. Okay. With another being dimensioned 19.5 millimeters away from the base. And then with the final one, with the length of this line to be 31.75 millimeters. So let's just put that down here. We know that there are going to be 3 lines. I'm just going to draw 3 rough sketches because we're going to be dimensioning them anyways. And we know that one will be dimensioned 19.05 millimeters away from the base. And one will be dimensioned 12.7 millimeters away from the base. Then we know that this line will be 31.75 millimeters. That was deduced before. And the dimension of each, okay, I apologize. The dimension of these lines were 50.8 millimeters. And this should be how your drawing looks like. And you can finish your sketch. Select the sketch, click extrude, and instead of our add tab, we're going to click the remove tab. We're going to click In the end type, we're going to click through all, click the green check button, and you have finished your project. So this is just example 2. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put them down in the comments or email me. And yes, thank you so much for watching. Bye.